Hi guys, my name is Juanita Khumalo and I am a fitness and wellness influencer, enthusiast and entrepreneur. My company is called Trope Wellness, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the importance of, how to create your content, schedule your content and the timing of it all. And before we go into that though, there's something which I want to discuss with you guys first, because I feel like it's so important for me to talk to you about tips for successful influencing before we get into the content part of it, because the content creation, scheduling and posting is merely tools and elements which you can which anybody can do, which I'll share with you shortly. But I want to give you guys top 7 points from my perspective on how to become a successful influencer and how to move from a micro influencer to a macro influencer, as well as growing your audience, and it's all a part of it all. So I've got like 7 tips over here, guys. And the first one that I have for you is that you need to establish your personal brand. And what I mean by establish your personal brand, I don't mean that you need to go recreate something that you are not and basically put it as yourself. Whether you like it or not, you are a walking brand. When you meet someone, how you speak, what you're wearing, whether you have eye contact, how you think, your values and principles, they exude who and what you are. Even if you do not open your mouth, but people, let's be honest, judge you by how you look and how you conduct and carry yourself. So that is your brand already. So what you realize is that you need to basically be true and authentic to your brand. So establish what you are, what your brand is. While you are in the quest of establishing it, please be sure that you do not try and recreate what you're not. Your personal brand is ideally meant to be an extension of who you are. Who you are, and all social media does is extend that part of who you are. So there needs to be a correlation between your personal brand and what you portray online. There should not be, a fundamental big difference between the two. And then that means that you're not being true to who you are, and people can always tell that. And then the second tip is to find unique selling proposition. Let's be honest, guys, the influencing landscape is highly saturated. Beauty is highly saturated, makeup is saturated, hair care is saturated, fitness is getting saturated as well. So a lot of people are probably wondering to themselves, like, what am I going to bring that's different to the market? And you need to figure out what your unique selling proposition is, and that is the USP. If you have to conduct a competitor analysis and actually identify who the key leaders in the particular industry is and what they're about and what sets them apart, and you find out what sets you apart. The key thing, of course, guys, will always be sure that you are creating value, but at the same time, find out what makes you different, and that right there is your winning card. And then step number 3, there is power in focused content, meaning that if I go to your platform, if I'm a brand manager and I'm looking for someone for a fitness gig, and I go to you, and what I find on your page is a bit of lifestyle, there's hair, there's beauty, there's, tons of drinking on your platform. That doesn't necessarily tell me who and what you are. So by virtue of that, even if I was just to go to, Instagram and type up your name, the first thing I see is that I'm not going to select you for the, fitness campaign, because that is not what your page is exuding, even though you may say so. But at the end of the day, you need to make it so much more easier for people to identify you, to know exactly what they go to you for, and not be confused between scattered across many, many things. So there is so much power in focused content, and you realize that with focused content, you almost become, what do you call it, not the industry leader, but the go-to person for a specific content, and people will always remember you as that. So indirectly, you are cementing your identity in people's minds without even realizing it. And then the 6th step is speak with authority and confidence. No one's going to go to someone that look like, or that sound like they don't know what they're doing, that sounds like they don't know what they're talking about, because how am I supposed to take what you're saying as credible and as is if you're not even sure about yourself as well? So I'm not saying don't talk about specific topics. What I am saying though is that go do your research. With research, the more well-informed you are, the more confident you are to address or to speak on a topic, and the more you speak with authority versus you being squeamish about it on some, I think weight loss, I'm not sure it works in a certain way. I'm not going to listen to you because you don't look like you know what you're talking about. And I can tell that you are literally just winging it, and you do not want to underestimate people's intelligence, guys. People are smart, and we live in an era where information is available everywhere. So number one, do your research, become a thought leader on it. It comes with a lot of work. You don't just wake up that way. I have had to do quite a lot of that, a lot of reading, a lot of research to understand certain topics, how certain things work. And with more research, more work, the more knowledgeable you are, the more confident you are, and the more you will speak with authority. And then the number 5, build a relationship with your audience. By the way, guys, there are 7 steps. The 5th one is build a relationship with your audience. Don't treat your audience like fans, guys. Just don't do that. Talk to them on a regular, engage with them. Ask them Q&As, what kind of content they want to hear from you, what more do they want from you. Be open to expecting or accepting constructive criticism, because it's there to grow you, and you never know what you can hear from them. But I found it very helpful to talk to my audience, engage with them, and find out what their needs are, and what more do they need help with, what more content do they need from me. That can come a long way, and everything is in the relationship part of it. And then number 6, consistency is king. Guys, be consistent in your content, be consistent on your page. Don't post in 1 month, once in a month, and then the next month you post 5 times, and the next month you go MIA again. That is not consistency. Consistency builds trust and reliability. So the more consistent you are, the more people trust you, and the more you cement yourself again, guys, as a thought leader or a specific voice in that particular arena of yours. And that comes with consistency. And number 7, guys, content is king. Content is king, and that is the name of the game. And you need to kindly ensure that you're constantly creating content, and not just content in J&J. You need to be creating valuable content, and that comes with work, guys. And depending on what sector you're in, it's going to be different, and be creative about your content, play around with the content, look at editing apps and see how you can make your content more amazing or different from the others. And content is king. So those are the 7 tips for successful influencing. And now I feel so much more confident, guys. I'm packing the main topic, which is why we're here for, how to plan your content and the timing of it and what goes into it, and how to just put it together. So I use a tool. It's basically a social media content calendar. And when I started, that's what I used. Right now, I don't use it that frequently, but mainly because I know the order and flow of my content. But I didn't just wake up and know how to do that. And developing a content calendar will really be helpful for you to also just show you your content overall. So how to create a social media content calendar, and like I said, guys, that's what I use. So the calendar, how I had it's on an Excel spreadsheet, and every single tab is a particular month. And with each month, of course, with each tab, I've got the full days over there written out, guys, and I can say as in day 1 to 31 or day 1 to 30. And I know, for example, guys, what kind of content I'm going to post when, whether it's in still image, whether it's a podcast link, or whether it's an article link, or whether it's a video or workout video. You need to decide what that is, and you need to plan it according to your content. I just find that Excel is so much more easier to use. You can use, Word or PowerPoint, but the beauty about Excel is that, it's all there, and we can just literally copy paste a document and then boom. So there are basically 7 steps to creating an effective social media calendar. Number 1, you need to audit your social media networks and establish which they are. For example, not all social media platforms are the same. I mean, TikTok is very different to Twitter, to Instagram, and to Facebook, and people consume content on these platforms very differently. So for example, what works on Twitter may not necessarily work on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and what works on Instagram will not necessarily work on Twitter or TikTok. And to give an example, in terms of my content, I realized that visuals don't work that well on Twitter. However, in terms of Instagram, it works really, really well, but at the end of the day, Instagram is it's a visual content platform. It's about the aesthetic, and that's what people want to see. And people on Twitter are more concerned about, thoughts and trending topics, and they really is engaged with like aesthetic content very much. So know your audience type and know where you need to post. Whereas TikTok is much younger, it's very short content pieces, 15-second clips, and you need to be trendy, you need to know how to dance, and that's not my kind of vibe. So my main content lives on Instagram and it lives on Twitter. And I know that on Twitter there is certain kind of content I put out there, but it's definitely not visual content. It's more thought engaging, information sharing, and knowledge sharing, and you need to establish that. And then after that, you need to choose the social media channels. Of course, you need to decide, is the content more suitable for Instagram, is it more suitable for Twitter or TikTok? And if you're going to play around all three, you need to see how you can adapt them to suit the specific platform and how the information is consumed or content is consumed on it. Number 3, plan in advance. And by planning in advance, I'm talking about make a content library, like have an asset of content. So what I often do is that I would have a shoot either once a quarter or once every second month. And because, to be quite honest with you, most of us actually have other jobs to do, and you don't want to be under pressure to be shooting a fitness video or a fitness picture every single day, and then it's not coming out right, the lighting is wrong. So if you want to have clean content that is crisp, you need to have a gallery of it. So what that helps you do is that, let's just say you have a shoot. Last year I had like 4 themes for each quarter. For quarter 1, it was, track athlete. Q2, it was a boxing theme. Q3 and 4, it was basically summer, spring, and we had a shoot at the beach. So that content is what I filtered out throughout the entire, for each quarter, that's what I'd had. So I'd probably have about 10 to 20 pictures which I can use per quarter, which is quite a lot, or 20 to 30 pictures that we can use, 30. And that is, for example, like my planned out content, so that I at least know I've got peace of mind in knowing that if I have to post something, if my content schedule says every Monday it's a picture or every Thursday it's a video, I already have that archived, and all I have to do is just upload, press and boom. So you need to make sure that, you're not going to have all the time, guys, to create every single content piece. It's just a waste of time. So this helps you to be more organized, to have your content assets ready for you to post. And then, of course, establish a theme and a workflow. Establish a theme, guys. People curate the content differently. For example, like I've seen some people in beauty or fashion, they will have color schemes, and that's how they theme out the content. Whereas like they'll go through like a period of either orange, and you'll see, orange flowers or oranges, or, tad bits of like orange in terms of the outfits, and the next month it's pink, and then it's brown, depending on the seasonality. So you need to decide, whether your content is going to have different themes per month, a theme per quarter. Like I said, mine was per quarter, whereas Q1 was like track, and then Q2 was boxing, and those are the kind of content which I pushed out. So you need to decide, if you're going to have a theme, and you need to see, is it monthly, is it quarterly, or is it just depend on whether you just choose to just do everything you want to do. But having a messy content page is not really ideal. So find your theme, and and if you're going to do themes according to yearly let's just say public, major public holidays, maybe in November you want to celebrate Youth Month, get what I'm saying? So you need to create content pertaining to that. So number 1, like I said again, create a theme and establish a workflow. And something that will help you establish a workflow is apps which allow you to plan and see your content, because then it shows you your workflow that next month every Monday it's still images, every Wednesday it's a fitness video, and every Friday maybe it's a lifestyle image. So one app which I use is called Unum, UNUM. So basically it just allows you to see, basically kind of like look at your content and see what's next, see whether it works. You can move it around, guys, so that it essentially has a theme. So that will help you with your workflow. And even on your Excel spreadsheet, guys, know that Monday is either still image, Wednesday it's a video, and then Friday it's a social piece, or you just decide whatever you want to do with it. And then number 5, start crafting your post. And start crafting your post, which your posts are already there. And that is so important, guys, because like in point number 6, which entails fact checking and spelling check, your what do you call this thing? When you post a picture, your caption, yes, your caption. You need to make sure that you fact check it, spell check it, does it make sense? And if you need to, if you're talking about a serious subject, get a thought leader or a person that's qualified in that specific area to maybe proofread your work. So make sure that just fact check information, everything, and make sure that everything is correct. And that's 5 and 6. And the very, very, very last one, guys, of course, start publishing and scheduling, and then boom, you're done. And one more thing, of course, which I have to add on regarding content planning and scheduling, of course, is that you need to share your content plan with your brands. Let's just say, for example, you have a campaign with a specific brand. You need to show them, let's just say you've got another brand that you're already working with, and you know that on certain days they've already scheduled, because it's not ideal to post 2 branded content pieces in one day or one after another. It's always good to kind of like have a filler in between. So you need to kind of like share that with the brand if you have a specific set content plan, so they can also see how they can plug into it while still meeting the brand's objectives. So that's very, very important, guys. You need to be transparent with them about it, because at the end of the day, you don't want your page to look like an advertorial. And then everything, when you've got too many sponsored posts one after another, it almost looks like your page is a billboard, and it makes it very hard for people to actually trust your opinion, because then it's one of those things where, do you trust what you're saying? Does she know what you're saying? Or is it simply just about the check? So very important, guys. Make sure that you have a content calendar, share it with your particular brands, and more importantly, guys, also guide your brands. They will suggest something based on their perspective, but guide them as well. Suggest and be like, Wednesday, for example, it's not my best working day in terms of engagement. How about we post this kind of content on a Friday or on a Monday? For example, I know that like for me, fitness content doesn't really work well on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday. People want to like party and do what people do on weekends. But since it's lockdown, I hope you guys are staying home. But nonetheless, people are just chilled. They want to consume less heavy content or less educational content. So most of the time on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I avoid posting anything, about fitness and so forth. It's just very, very chill, social or aesthetic, or like, just general lifestyle content. But Monday to Friday, I know that those are my best working days. Monday has my highest engagement. So you need to tell the brand that, look, depending what it is, if you want to get this post to work very, very well and to be very successful, reach the people it needs to reach, target, post it on Monday. And they, of course, show them the analytics to show that, which days of yours work best. So more importantly, guys, get your social media content calendar. Like I said, you can even plug the image of the content piece to show that, Monday it's this one, Tuesday it's this photo. Just put it there, guys, the low-res versions of it. Tabulate it, create your Excel spreadsheet, like I said, either by month, and then decide on a theme per month or theme per quarter, and then, shoot the content, have it archived, so that you just don't waste any time. And when you've planned it using your workflow, and like I said, there's that you can use, and then just plug it in and then press post, schedule post, done. You don't have to stress about it. You don't have to worry about it, and the pressure is off your shoulders. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys found this very, very useful. And see you again soon. And if you guys want to know anything else, my email address is info@juanitakhumalo.com. That's my email address. My social media handles: Instagram is JUAKHUMALO, and on Twitter it's Juanita_Khumalo. Shout, message me if there's anything you need to know more about this particular topic. I'll be more than happy to help. And stay blessed, stay home, and stay safe.